in the raw. RK's Gyna Free Media, and I'm your host, your friend, brother, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan, dearest beloved, divine friends and families. Recently, after the murder of a very handsome, bright and brilliant and unique youth, Ahmad Arbery, and I did a RK's Gyna Free Media. And if you did listen to the preamble and the introduction, you would have observed that I said I cried that day. It was the 6th or the 7th, twice, for African people and for African Americans. Because no matter how much they gave to the world has been very ungrateful. And even though they might have developed wealth, extraordinary, and become the greatest nations of the earth, there's some of these calls coming, the most ridiculous calls at times. And they build civilizations and they have no gratefulness for these people. The law of the land, the United States of America, its constitution, grants recognition, most states opportunities, but some of the peoples and peoples in positions, not the position they hold, but them, the people of position, are sometimes the most ungrateful people. And particularly the people of color, but more so even in the echelon of colored peoples. The black man, they consider, the African man, the seed of humanity that gave the peoples to the world, the first of God's creation, are always the one who are marginalized. Like in India, it's always the darkest, the Tamil, and the original people who are so-called untouchables. Very wrong and very unfair. But my beloved divine friends and families, this clipping I'm about to show you is about a great actor of African descent, but who brought great pride to the Caribbean.
What do they call you up there?
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Mr. Tibbs! Well, Mr. Wood, take Mr. Tibbs, take him down to the depot, and I mean boy like now.
I'll have the FBI lab send you the report on this. Not that it'll make any difference.
I'll take that.
Oh, you won't. I'm sending it in, personally.
My God. What kind of people are you? What kind of a place is this? My husband is dead. Somebody in this town killed him. I want you to find out who.
And so, my dear operator, Cleveland James, show me Sidney Poitier here. And show me here Sidney Poitier slapping that man who slapped him. That same man who said he could have had him shot. That same moment which was a great mental liberation of African people in America. Not that the government was prejudiced, and not that the law was being prejudiced, but because some people had prejudice. Show me that piece here.
Well, your attitudes, Mr. Endicott, your points of view are a matter of record. Some people, well, let us say the people who work for Mr. Colbert might reasonably regard you as the person least likely to mourn his passing. We were just trying to clarify some of the evidence. Was Mr. Colbert ever in this greenhouse, say, last night about midnight?
Gillespie? Yeah. You saw it.
I saw it.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I don't know.
And here now, when the white man says, the police officer, he will take him to the bus and put him in the bus and send him back.
Well, you're pretty sure of yourself, ain't you, Virgil? Virgil, that's a funny name for a nigger boy that comes from Philadelphia. What do they call you up there?
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Mr. Tibbs! Well, Mr. Wood, take Mr. Tibbs, take him down to the depot, and I mean boy like now.
I'll have the FBI lab send you the report on this. Not that it'll make any difference.
I'll take that. Oh, you won't.
I'm sending it in, personally.
My God.
Great moments of African liberation.
Legendary Sidney Poitier, the beloved actor and activist, died at the age of 94. Respected for his roles both on and off the screen, he broke barriers. He was the first black man to win an Oscar for Best Male Actor back in 1964. He was also nominated for a Tony for his role in A Raisin in the Sun. He was a trailblazer and a champion for civil rights. Fellow actor and activist Harry Belafonte released a statement writing in part, "He was truly my brother and partner, trying to make this world a little better. He certainly made mine a whole lot better." And former President Obama tweeted this photo from when he presented Poitier with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The former president wrote in part, "Through his groundbreaking roles and singular talent, Sidney Poitier epitomized dignity and grace, revealing the power of movies to bring us closer together." And Hollywood fans are placing flowers on Poitier's star on the Walk of Fame. Entertainer reporter Sandy Kenyon is here now with much more on the actor's remarkable life. Sydney. Sandy.
Liz, it's impossible to overstate his importance because Sidney Poitier was so far ahead of his time. He transcended show business to become a beacon for those who came after him. And as Hollywood slowly becomes more diverse, the industry is finally following his lead, going down a trail he blazed first.
Sidney Poitier doesn't make movies, a critic once wrote. He makes milestones. For 2 decades, he stood alone as the only African-American film superstar, the first to be nominated for an Academy Award.
No more yezza.
The first to win an Oscar for this performance in Lilies of the Field.
Get yourself another boy.
In Guess Who's Coming to Dinner,
Mom, this is John.
he starred in one of Hollywood's first interracial love stories.
Well, we have this problem. I fell in love with your daughter.
From his earliest roles, Poitier challenged racial stereotypes, whether playing a young doctor whose patient died or a man frustrated by his lack of opportunity in A Raisin in the Sun.
I drive a man around in his limousine and I say, yes, sir, and no, sir, and shall I take the drive, sir? Mama, that ain't no kind of job. That is nothing at all.
Or a police officer forced to work with a racist Southern sheriff in the heat of the night.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
They also called him Sir.
You will call me sir or Mr. Thackeray.
In 2002, Sidney Poitier received an honorary Academy Award. On the same evening, Denzel Washington won an Oscar for Training Day. In his victory speech, the younger star saluted the legend.
I'll always be chasing you, Sidney. I'll always be following in your footsteps. There's nothing I would rather do, sir.
Poitier said he didn't try to set the pace for others. His work was simply a reflection of his values.
And if someone saw them and felt that they were of use to them, then I'm blessed.
In 2009, Poitier was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Barack Obama in his first year as chief executive. What a moment. Meeting Sidney Poitier in the 1980s was like keeping an appointment with royalty. At that point in his career, he'd clearly had his fill of reporters. His responses to my questions were careful, even cautious. But I'll never forget the firmness in his voice. He spoke quietly, but forcefully. This legend was that rarest of all movie stars, whose charisma in person was more intense than on the big screen. Intimidating? Sure. But right now, I'm remembering the twinkle in his eye.
The original seed of God on the earth. Your friend, your brother, me.